Thank you, Mr. Chair, and Mr. Undersecretary, thank you for being here. I appreciate your explanation about the complexities of the sequestration law, about your lack of transfer authority for this particular program, and how that complicated the tough decisions that you had to make. That doesn't make the decision any more popular. I am one of the members who signed on to the bipartisan letter expressing concern, and as much as I can appreciate the bind that you were in, I still don't like the outcome. And I hope one of the things that you're taking away from this hearing is that there is strong bipartisan support for this program, that it is a lifeline for the communities we represent, Democrat and Republican. And frankly, my hope is that you will agree with us that the idea of a retroactive refund for these communities that have no cash reserves, that receive these payments and immediately made financial commitments, that don't have the flexibility or the capability to pay this money back, that you will find a better way, whether that is through the Secretary of Treasury or whether that is coming to us in Congress telling us what you need to make this right for these communities that just can't absorb this kind of a retroactive hit. I appreciate the fact that you have produced, contrary to some of the insinuations, you have produced thousands of pages of documents. You have agreed to make other sensitive documents available to the committee for in-camera review. CRS has concluded, based on all of these documents, that you did have sufficient legal basis for the decision you made. Again, doesn't mean I like it. It doesn't make it any more popular. But I think where we may differ here is that the lack of evidence of political misconduct is being interpreted by the majority as evidence that you're hiding something. But it I think, is more reasonably interpreted as evidence that there was no political misconduct, again, for a very unpopular decision that I don't like one bit. So I guess with all of that,
Would the gentleman yield?
Yeah, I will, Mr. Chair.
Clearly, there is bipartisan concern with this, and the answer is, I think very easily, is for USDA to say that there will be no retribution as far as asking for a payback. I mean, the governor, as I mentioned, in the state of Washington, if they can give us assurances, for example, that they will say, okay, we'll send out the funds for the next fiscal year and we won't don't deduct that, as far as I'm concerned, the issue is over. Now, I can be concerned because they haven't responded to us and all of those sort of things, that we have that tension between the executive branch and the Congress. I understand that, and that'll go on. But from the standpoint of our constituents, we would feel much better if they would just simply say, okay, there'll be no retribution, those funds will go out without any deduction. And I thank the gentleman. I think the gentleman agrees with me with that.
Absolutely, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
I do agree, and I'd be delighted with that outcome as well. But I guess I would just say that if the department needs Congress to step up and provide some authority so that that can all happen, we need to step up and do our job and partner with the administration and make this right.
With the gentleman will yield, the mere fact that there's a gray area would suggest that that doesn't have to be done. I mean, that would be, to me, would be the solution. Let's end it. After all, the sequester didn't happen until March. This decision was made in January. Most people on Main Street would say, gee, why would you do it in the first place? So I thank the gentleman for yielding to me, and yield back to him.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will allow the Undersecretary to respond, and I have no further questions or comments.
Strongly concur with the